Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today, talking all about this year's Wrestlemania coming right up around the corner. I can't believe how close this trip really is. I mean, today's really the first day that I looked at the calendar and was like, damn, we're leaving sooner than we think. I mean, people think that I'm crazy, but I always start to put t-shirts into my bag before we go really early for the one reason of I want to make sure that a shirt that I want to take to WrestleMania for the trip doesn't get lost in the wash. And sometimes it just happens here. You know, there's the kids, and kids go through like 1,000 clothes a day. And, sometimes I'll throw a t-shirt into the wash and I won't see it for 2 months. But I can't believe it. It's going to be here right around the corner. I love being a guy that loves WWE through thick and thin. This last year I've really started to turn on it, maybe a little bit more than normal. But I'm sort of seen as like a real WWE mark. But this is like the first time that WWE has been really good to the point of like, I want to talk about WrestleMania 32 constantly in all of my videos. It's like every day I'm thinking of a different thing or a different way something could work out come WrestleMania this year. We've got two really big matches in my mind that are really sort of linked together with The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. And Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Easily the Authority. I don't think it's going to be a lot like Survivor Series, where basically if they lost the match, they're going to be out of power. Well, I guess they will, because Shane will be in charge of Raw, so I guess they won't be in charge of Raw. Maybe they'll just be in charge of SmackDown, and maybe that's one way they can sort of think that SmackDown is going to become an A show again. But we don't really know a lot about Shane. If maybe they just brought Shane back for a couple months to build up WrestleMania. We don't know if Shane's really coming back. Basically, on the Wrestling Observer podcast the other day, and they were really going over this. Even Dave doesn't know what's going on. Basically, it was reported that there's no real movement going around at the top of the ladder. You would think that if Shane was coming back, he would get some sort of a real gig in Titan Towers. He's not just going to be working in the mailroom. I'm not 100% sure what he was really doing from a lot of shoot interviews. I know he had a lot to do with, sort of like talent at the shows. He wasn't really like JR. He wasn't the guy signing people and bringing people in like what Triple H's job is today. But he was sort of a guy that sort of was in the locker room as like a guy that was sort of like an in-between the wrestler and Vince. Like if a guy was really pissed off and maybe a guy was thinking that he wasn't being taken care of, he was a guy that would sort of bounce things off of. And I don't think there really is a job title for that, but sort of like a go-between guy. I've heard that he had a lot to do with the online stuff and things like that. And I don't know. I don't know if maybe Shane is going to be jealous that Triple H and Stephanie are going to be moving in to be taking that job sooner than later from Vince and riding off into the sunset. We can definitely tell by the success of NXT that Triple H should know what he's doing. I know he's playing with, I guess you can say, the minor leagues, but he took something that was supposed to be that was supposed to produce superstars for the future, and has basically grown NXT to be huge. There's a lot of people out there who love watching NXT that don't watch Raw anymore just because Raw is so damn long, and that's something that they're going to have to come to and really try and figure out, because I think that's one of the reasons why people are turning off Raw. They'll turn on Raw for the beginning 2 hours and then just sort of fade out and just look at it and be like, this main event is not worth my time. I've put in my 2 hours. I'm going to go do what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch the end of the football game. I'm going to, eat dinner and go to bed. I'm going to do whatever you got to do. It's just that, I think the Raw is just 3 hours too long. There's still a lot of questions that when it comes down to, what they're going to do with everything. Jim Ross talked about on Jim Ross's podcast that he thought it would be a great way to pull off some sort of a double turn with Stephanie and Triple H turning babyface and being these characters that you want to cheer for because you feel like they're getting screwed. With, I guess you can say, Shane taking on a heel persona, and I guess that would be like, Undertaker turning as well. But the thing that hasn't really been determined, and we're not really going to figure out until maybe even closer to WrestleMania time. When Rock came back, Rock said that he was going to see us at WrestleMania. He put the big thing up on his Instagram that they were all booked and set and ready to go. But you got to think about when that Rock announcement was made. That was months ago, and it was being reported that basically the Shane McMahon deal only happened in the last 10 days. So is this changing their idea of what they were going to be doing with Rock? Is Rock just going to be involved with the Roman Reigns versus Triple H match? And how do you do that Roman Reigns versus Triple H match and not have a fallout of The Undertaker versus Shane? I, in my opinion, think that the main event of WrestleMania should be Triple H versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. I am a guy that's almost always going to say that match your WWE Championship match needs to be your main event. I understand when things come up like WrestleMania 28, Cena versus Rock. Nothing was going to be bigger than that. But honestly, when I look at these two matches, even with Shane McMahon's return, I believe that needs to be not in the middle of the card, but definitely before the main event. Even if you do them back to back, I think that those matches link up to the point where almost like, I don't think you want to waste Shane, and I don't think you want to waste Undertaker, but like, I would do one of those, crazy mixed tag matches where you do, I don't even know who you would tag up. Maybe you would tag up Roman Reigns and Undertaker to go up against Shane and Triple H. Even though they're not on the same page, I was going to say they're both McMahons, but you know what I'm saying. And show that there is friction between them, that they're not going to be able to work together. Maybe Triple H walks out on Shane and leaves them to be beat, and I don't know, maybe that wouldn't work for that WrestleMania special that's coming up, but man, I'm fired up for this. I mean, that's the only way I can think about it. And of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin has said hell or high water, he's going to be at WrestleMania 32. He had an idea to bounce off creative, which I'm sure has been crumpled up and thrown out the window. Is Stone Cold Steve Austin just going to walk out at the beginning of WrestleMania and welcome us all to WrestleMania, and then just walk off to the back, almost like when he brought out The Undertaker on that Monday Night Raw? When he had the Austin podcast, and he decided to open up the show for Monday Night Raw that was hyping up Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker. Maybe it's going to be something as small as that, but I think it's going to be something bigger. Some people have said basically make this guy the outside enforcer for the Shane versus Undertaker match, making sure that nobody runs in. But I don't want to sell it short, but isn't that what the fucking cell is for? I know that people have gotten into the cell before, and they've shown that you can get into the cell as easily as you can get out. Kane came down and ripped the door off. You've got guys like Mick Foley, who's thrown his body through the cage itself to basically break an opening to where they could start fighting on the outside. And of course, back in the day, they'd always fight on the top, which is always a huge moment, which they haven't really done in the past because of the fact that it's kind of been done 1,000 times. And I think that you can build that cell as good as you can, but accidents happen. And I don't think they want an accident on WrestleMania with somebody falling through there and getting really hurt. But I've got so many things going on in my brain. It's like the hamster on the wheel. I don't even really know what to get to. But, honestly, if I just book the thing straight up, I have Shane beat Undertaker. And I don't even really know how. I don't know if Shane pulls something out of his bag of tricks where he has to hit Undertaker over the head and knock him out with the steel plate or something like that. But that's something up his sleeve, I guess you can say, from watching old Shane McMahon matches. Is Shane going to get pushed down a set of stairs by Vince McMahon and just, oops, now you can't wrestle at WrestleMania, I guess I win. And then, somebody steps in and basically says, well, Shane can't wrestle, we'll have to fill his place with somebody else. And then, do, 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 Do 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 do. The Cena alert goes off, and Cena comes out to save the day, and then Cena has to fight Undertaker. The match that we thought we were going to get for so long. Cena's not posting that shit on Instagram and on Twitter about being in the gym working out 12 hours a day to come wrestle a Payback. I'm sorry. That's not what's going to happen. If he's making any sort of return, it's going to be at WrestleMania. Even if that's him coming down, I don't think that John Cena is going to turn heel on The Undertaker, costing him the match. Or I don't think that, Cena's going to come down and turn heel, costing Shane the match. But I can see him coming back and actually wrestling the match itself. And, then, WrestleMania turns into a McMahon in every corner. Definitely, it was kind of fishy that, Triple H wasn't involved in that first segment of Raw when Shane made his return. Definitely, he should have come out there to sort of stop the commotion. But I know that he's also involved in the main event between him and Roman Reigns. So you don't want to take away from the fact that... he had a master plan. And of course, we saw him backstage in the suit, and then he was changed, and he was in on kick-ass gear with a leather jacket and his t-shirt. Gotta get them t-shirt sales, and that's one of the t-shirts that I threw into the thing already. I gotta find the buried shirt, though. I don't know where the hell that is. I haven't seen it in a little while. But, fun times, man. This is gonna be a great show all over. I wanted to talk about that fucking Undertaker and Shane match more, but I don't have any time, and I think I've gone on far too long. Hopefully you guys can feel my excitement, and this is going to be a really big thing. I feel a lot like I did when Nexus made their debut on Raw and took out Cena and Punk. I'm guessing that I'm probably going to make a video on this probably almost every day until WrestleMania, unless I just talk myself out. I'm looking forward to SmackDown tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get any answers. I know that Triple H has said that he's going to be there. My guess is that Roman Reigns isn't there. I didn't read the spoilers, and I would appreciate it if you guys didn't leave them down in the comment box below, because I'm that excited about it. And with Roman Reigns' surgery yesterday, I don't think that he's going to be on the show. Unless they just flat out say that SmackDown is taped on Tuesdays, and I guess no, because he had the surgery on Tuesdays, so that wouldn't make any sense at all. But, man, this is going to be good. I mean, this is really going to be good. Is Triple H going to beat Roman Reigns and keep the championship? And then Shane is the owner, and he has to sort of try to find a way to get the title off of him. How much longer is Triple H going to wrestle? Is he going to become a full-time wrestler now that maybe Shane... I think it'd be really dumb if they gave Shane Triple H's job. And I know that Vince has to take care of his son, and if he comes back and says basically, hey, it didn't work out there, you got to find something for him to do. But I don't think I would put him in charge of talent relations. I don't think you would put him in charge of creative. Maybe the job that I would have given him is the one that they just gave Stephanie, which is in charge of, the public relations sort of stuff. So it's going to be a big one. Dallas, we said for a year it was going to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time. And as of right now, it sort of feels that way. It didn't look that way 2 weeks ago, but it does now.